for a family court judge.
Running for family court judge in 2000.
Mm-hmm. That was when, boy, it's hard to believe it's been a few years since then.
A few years, yeah, but we still look great.
You do. You're looking just fine. Me, I'm struggling to survive. So.
No, that's not true.
Listen, I'm very interested in the story the other day about women. This study that was put out.
Yes.
And women as judges.
Yes, it's
minority.
It's called the gavel gap because the study that was brought out by the American Constitutional Society of Law and Policy came up with this nationwide study and found
it's not just
that,
in New York State. This is around the country.
And they graded every state, which New York, supposedly a progressive state, got a D.
Wow.
D. And so 70% nationwide judges are male, 30% female.
Wow. And then
we're half the population.
When you add minorities into
and
it's
minorities,
even worse.
It's even a worse picture, absolutely.
Yeah.
And for example, in our local 5th Judicial District, where state Supreme Court judges are elected in 6 counties, so there are 17, I believe, elected Supremes, in our 5th Judicial District. Excuse me. So there's, I believe, 17 males and 3 females.
Wow.
So that's our counties. Herkimer, Oneida. Yeah.
It's funny. Why is it that in the world they always say, "Listen, boy, it's the woman that makes the decision." Every guy will say, "Boy, if it wasn't for my wife, I'd be making it." Yet when it comes to making legal decisions.
Well,
we don't put women in those positions
because it's the process, Bill. The process is very onerous to get through. And for example, when I ran, I can't tell you how many people came and said, "Listen, it's not time for a woman yet." I was the first woman elected in Oneida County, both in family court and in Supreme Court, and the first woman elected to a judgeship.
Wow!
And I mean, people would come to me and say, "It's not your time, but come back another, give it a couple more years." And I said, wait a minute. If you keep telling women not to run, women are never going to be elected judge in Oneida County.
Did you, when you were elected, and I guess I don't recall this, because I just take it for granted that male, female, doesn't matter. It's,
which I always did as well.
Based on merits.
Right.
Did it dawn on you that this was a big moment for women? Because I don't remember that being a part of the story, but maybe it was.
No, I did. I just felt that I was qualified to do the job, and I wanted to run. I never, my dad raised me to believe that I could do whatever I wanted to do if I put my mind to it, and I worked hard. So I never thought of it as, I'm a woman, I want to run. It was just, I think I'm qualified.
Right.
I was a prosecutor.
As a person.
I was a prosecutor for 7 years, prosecuting child sex abuse cases in the DA's office. And I felt like I had to get to these victims earlier in family court, try to help them. And so that's why I ran. That was my sole motivation, not because I was a woman and not because a woman could do it better. But law schools have been graduating 50% women for 20 years. So it's not like there's not a pool of candidates.
Right, they're out there.
Okay, that statistic is alarming.
So, I got to tell you, I worked on did commercials for Jackie Izzo on her campaign.
Yes.
And she did not want, because we were all like, well, we got to go after the fact that be the first woman mayor for the city of Rome. Yeah. She did not want to get on that road.
No, I didn't either. And when I ran for Supreme Court, I was aware because, again, I thought people came out of the woodwork to discourage me for family court when the stakes were higher and it was state Supreme Court.
Well, now they're going to say you're going to lose the seat.
Right.
You're going to lose it for us.
And here it was. You can't win.
Wow.
You can't win. I'm talking about people in high places telling me that. Have you looked at the numbers? You can't win. I'm like, well, you know what? I'm not going to look at the numbers. I'm going to put my message out there, and I'm going to go to the people, and I'm going to get elected.
And it worked.
And it worked.
And it worked.
And since you left family court for state Supreme Court, we've had a number of women run and get elected.
Yes, we have.
Judge Tukert Skane.
Yes.
And also most recently, Judge Julia Brulette.
Judge Brulette, absolutely.
So do you feel like that you kind of in some way inspired them?
Well, you have to break that that proverbial glass ceiling. And if I did, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
But I think these women, and also Judge Gall ran for Supreme Court.
Yep.
I think these women have done it themselves because, but maybe a little bit saying, well, a woman can do it. And at least it removed from the conversation, women can't win.
Right.
So if I did anything, I guess I did that. Women can win.
And I think all you have to do is let the, remind women that don't listen when you're told you can't do it.
Absolutely. And, I never did that because I was the first assistant DA appointed by our former congressman and DA Mike Arcuri. And when I was appointed that, people were like, everybody was a little bit reluctant, like, well, how's she going to do this job? And it was just, and then I became pregnant for my daughter, Alexandra. So now I'm the first woman and pregnant woman, first assistant DA, But we got the job done. And I think we made our community safe. So it was all good.
You were the first woman judge I ever saw driving a Hummer, too.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that Hummer. I know.
I'm like, that is bad. Forgive me for this, but that is badass right there. That is
my girls
cool.
love that car. They loved that car. They were sad when it had to leave, but that car was fun to drive. You're up so high.
Yeah,
you felt like you could really rule the world from that car.
That was so very cool.
You could hold court in that thing.
That's right. That's right.
So, all right. So, your recommendation because I have a daughter, and nothing bothers me more than the thought that she can't accomplish anything in the world that a guy can accomplish, and we've worked really hard to make sure that she stands up for herself, she advocates for herself. And what message do you send to young girls today?
I not only send that message, I go into schools whenever I'm asked. In 16 years as a judge, I've never refused to go to a school because I want young girls to see in firsthand. I bring my gavel, I bring my robe, I let them see. So you've got to keep impressing them like my dad did for me.
Right.
You can do this.
Yeah.
You can do this. And you can do anything you want. And that message has to continually be sent and positive reinforcement. And, I just want women to know that they can do it.
That's something they absolutely can do.
Early on, really quick, have you ever felt that you were treated differently or not as respected in the courtroom from lawyers as a female judge?
There was an adjustment period for sure. And I think that sometimes lawyers feel that they can say things that I know they wouldn't say in front of other judges, maybe not be as respectful. But on balance, I think our legal community has been very supportive.
Yeah.
But Andrew, that's a very good point because, or they'll show up late for my court where I know they would never, ever even think about doing that for some of the other judges.
You have all the power in the world to fix that problem.
Well, but anyway, it's a great study. Our state got a D, which is kind of surprising. California got a D. Ohio, Pennsylvania, both got Fs.
And some of it is not necessarily the man preventing the woman. It's the woman thinking she can't do it. And that, despite the obstacles, I think you got to stand up and fight.
In state court, though, to run for state Supreme Court, there's a process. And
so you think there is a discrimination there?
Oh, I do, because here's what they say. Well, we've got our candidate for this time.
Right.
And there's this hypothetical list out there that, that people, the pecking order.
Right.
And the committees and so we have to think of it as, a whole process. And I think women do get squeezed out. I do.
Well, at the end of the day, listen, they'll say things like, not only is it not your time, but we already have a woman here and a woman there. That's never said to a man. It's like...
Absolutely not.
Right. So,
and when I was running, they wanted to talk about my makeup, my hair color, what I wore. I never heard that talked about ever, with a male candidate. And so...
Well, listen, you're changing things.
Well, I'm trying. And I want to get that positive message out, and I really appreciate you guys allowing me to come on, because every time you get the message out, it's a little stronger, right? So
no doubt.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you so much, and happy holidays.
Yes, thank you.
Judge Bernadette Clark.
Thank you.
Appreciate everything that you do out there. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.